What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, according to certain industry insiders like Daniel RPK, we should be learning the fate of movies like Armor Wars and Blade over at Marvel Studios and before the end of the year. Now, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, only because Marvel has been kicking the can and down the road literally a half decade at this point. But last it stood, Eric Pearson, who's considered to be the Marvel Studios in-house cleanup writer, was working on a finalized draft of the script, was the sixth writer to get his hands on it, and we thought we were close to getting to some sort of production and a finished product. Well, not so fast, as we're still waiting to hear the fate. But in the meantime, a disgruntled ex-employee and writer over at Marvel Studios, Bo DeMeo, is still speaking out about his experience over there and offered some details up about a previous iteration of the script that he had written for Blade before he was removed from the project. We're at least going to go through the details on that script and what he said about what it would have been had he had the chance to finish it. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner to coincide with Agatha All Along's finale. Again, all you gotta do be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so again, these details actually broke last week, and again, coming from Bo DeMeo, who was the writer on X-Men Season 1 and most of Season 2, but has had a very public falling out after his firing. This is what was reported via comicbookmovie.com under the headline, X-Men 97 showrunner Bo DeMeo reveals details of his raid-inspired script for the MCU Blade reboot, where they go on to report, quote, Bo DeMeo will likely be best known for working and being fired as showrunner on Disney Plus animated series X-Men 97, but he also did a pass on the script for an earlier take on Marvel Studios' troubled Blade reboot. DeMeo has now taken to social media to share some of his concepts for the Daywalker's MCU debut, or what would have been his debut before Wesley Snipes appeared in Deadpool and Wolverine, and, like a lot of fans, he wonders why it's been so difficult for the studio to come up with a compelling premise. He goes on to say exactly this, quote, take a John Wick movie, give the mobster's fangs, swap Keanu for Ali, hand him a sword, not a daughter who makes him fret over swinging the hero's name. Wick cost about $20 million to make, add $10 million more for vampire Darkhold magic effects, and you have a $30 to $40 million Marvel movie. I don't get why it's been so hard, he went on. Studio's broken. I wrote 3 drafts and a dozen outlines in 3 impossible months, and his favorite was a quote-unquote the raid style treatment where he says Blade finds himself defending a rundown tenement of humans from Varney's vamp hordes until daylight. Took place over one night, and Blade learns from Tenant Jericho Drum that Varney's attacking because the female tenant, who Blade sort of fancies, has been magically impregnated with Lilith by tenants who are secretly Darkhold cultists. Think 30 Days of Night meets Rosemary's Baby. Now, we're going to skip over whatever the hell happened between Bo DeMeo and Marvel Studios. As I've said, I've hated reporting on that. It doesn't sound like there's anybody who was in the right, and it doesn't really make any difference for this story, because Bo DeMeo at one point was confirmed to have been writing on the script for Blade. It was reported by all the Hollywood trade, so he's not making this up. But regardless of what happened between him and Marvel, he is not wrong. It is a little confusing as to why it has been this hard for Marvel to come up with a story that they like, which brings me back to the 2 points I've been making since day one. This basically comes back to Mahershala Ali not being okay with the state of the project. And so whatever the case, for the scripts that he may have been writing, the original script that was said to only be 90 pages short with only 2 lackluster action sequences, or whatever the rumors were about there being an iteration of the script where Blade was learning life lessons from the women in his life. Whatever the case, Mahershala Ali has not been happy with the state of the project, and seems like he has a pretty clear vision for what he saw for himself and what he saw for the franchise title in Blade. So I really feel like a lot of the problem here hasn't been with Marvel Studios rejecting all of these scripts, but Marvel Studios getting in lockstep with Mahershala Ali and agreeing on a project and a script in a way to move forward. Now, that being said, and while we're hearing from industry insiders that the fate quote-unquote of Blade still hangs in the balance, the last we heard from Mahershala Ali earlier this year was that it was all positive, they were finding a way forward, and it was mostly go. And like I said, the last person assigned to the script for Marvel Studios was said to be their closer, so it seemed like everything was moving in the right direction. But that brings me to my final point. Not only has it been Marvel Studios and Mahershala Ali combining to basically reject these scripts, but as long as Mahershala Ali is still attached to the project, which by all accounts he is, news, Marvel Studios is not canceling it. Trust me guys, they would have canceled this movie already. They've already done it with titles like Eternals 2 and other things that were in production at Marvel Studios. This would have been by the wayside a long time ago. Every time they hire a new writer, every time they change direction in pre-production or get a new director, that is money that they have spent that has gone straight out the door. You don't bring in 6 writers, you don't continue to try to toil with a project over a half decade unless you're staunchly headstrong into making that project and decidedly going to make it, which again, Mahershala Ali is still attached. So while we're hearing rumors that the fate of this Blade project is maybe going to be canceled, I just doubt that's the case until we hear Mahershala Ali has departed. And if you do hear that news, then you can be sure Blade is dead in the water. But getting away from the negative stuff, there have been some other rumblings we've covered at the channel, and in case you've missed these videos. First of which, some industry insiders are saying that Marvel Studios has actually begun meeting with new directors for the film. Again, you wouldn't be doing that if you were planning on canceling it. The other is that Chad Stahelski, and before the last director departed, was sort of campaigning for this in the media, saying this was the one Marvel film he truly wanted to do. And if you're wondering if there's any connection there between the John Wick director and Marvel Studios, he directly credits Kevin Feige as both a mentor and helping him with the John Wick universe. So fingers crossed that that director they're rumored to be talking to, or at least one of them, is Chad Stahelski. And so while Bo DeMayo makes the joke, I don't see why this is so hard. Just do a John Wick style movie and swap out the mobsters for vampires. That might actually end up coming to fruition. And man, I can't think of a better person to take up the helm for this. And whatever Mahershala Ali had in mind or saw himself being, I'm sure Chad Stahelski could deliver on that vision, considering he absolutely nailed the John Wick films and they're regarded with such high regard as some of the best action films ever made. But you guys let me know down in the comments, would you have liked that raid style sort of one night overnight for Blade, and what do you want to see from this film? I'm all ears as always. Let me know if it frustrates you that it's taking them this long to get it together, or you just want them to take as long as possible, spend as much money as they need to in order to get it right. I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s here at the channel. Super simple to be entered to win. All you got to do, hit the sub button, then leave a comment down below. And because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos in this same segment with the winning comment shown on screen when there is one and live with my voice. So please be safe and vigilant, and if you should get an erroneous comment or someone who's just a spammer, please just report them directly to YouTube. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.